Mr. Phil Harrison, the head of
what's Big Philly saying?
All right, so we all know we covered this last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, whenever the fuck it happened, that Stadia was closing down its internal studios and they were just going to do third-party games, right? Now, apparently, one of the reasons, not the sole reason, but one of the reasons they stopped doing original games and stuff is because of Microsoft's buying spree. And they're like, oh, we can't compete with that. We got to just shut everything down. I'm sorry. This is one of the dumbest excuses. It's not even an explanation. Excuse I've ever heard. Why isn't Epic Game Store shutting down? Why isn't Luna shutting down? Why isn't every other competitor of Microsoft shutting down? Why isn't Sony shutting down? You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. You know, it's just a ridiculous excuse. You know, you could have done, right, to compete with that, make your own games. You could have done that too. You know? But here's the thing. They already knew that the curtains were going to close for Stadia, so they're just coming up with dumb shit now, you know? So, Chris, you go first, man. What's your take on this?
I didn't know about this till you mentioned it.
Yeah.
So
what do you think of that? I literally just explained to you the whole situation. He blames it on Microsoft. Or let me read you his little snippet here, and then you can take it from there. He goes, Harrison pointed specifically to Microsoft buying spree and planned acquisition of Bethesda software later this year as one of the factors that made Google decide to close the book on original game development.
Well, I mean that's silly, but I'm gratified that one of the things I pointed out with Microsoft's strategy of buying Bethesda was right, since he called it out. I said this back when it happened, that they were doing this this wasn't a move against Sony. Remember,
that's right.
Fanboys were saying that. I was like, no, it's bullshit. It's a move against Stadia. And Phil Harrison just confirmed it. I love it. And so the other thing is now that Microsoft is not to blame for you canceling original content. That's bullshit. If anything, that should have made you want to do it more. Mm-hmm. This is look what's happening. What happened with Netflix when everybody decided they wanted a slice of the streaming pie and started pulling their licenses or letting all their contracts with Netflix expire so they could pull shows like The Office and all this shit off of there onto their own platforms. What did Netflix do? Netflix didn't go, oh, we give up. They said, no, then we'll make our own original content. Because we have to make ourselves unique. You need a unique selling proposition so that people keep subscribing to us and don't subscribe to other guys, right? So you make original stuff. That is how you compete. You don't fold and go, well, we'll just make deals with other people and whatever. We're throwing the towel. That's ridiculous. That's the opposite of what you should be doing. You should be doubling down on the original game development. You should have expanded. You should have made more studios and poured money into that and say we have unique offerings that you can only get on Stadia to make people want to play on your platform.
Yeah, no, for real, man. And here's something else right here, which I found kind of interesting, Carlos. I want to get your take on this specifically. So apparently a couple weeks before, the announcement came, he sent an email to the development team saying that they were making great progress. And when the studios were actually shut down, all the developers were like, wait, what the fuck happened? Like, they were surprised. So, what does that tell you about how mismanaged they are over there?
Well, you're doing a great job. You're fired.
Yeah.
It makes it seem that their plan was always, and like Chris mentioned, it was always to acquire a big studio. And I think Bethesda was target number 1, 2, and 3. It's crazy because if they would have kept investing into their developers, into their internal developers, it would have been a lot less cheaper than acquiring a freaking Bethesda. They could have released a couple of games at least to see, test out the market. Be like, hey, how do these games work? Are they garnering an audience? Are they getting critically acclaimed? Are they selling units? No, they could have done that for a couple of $1 million. Instead, they wanted to go for the $4 billion or was $4 billion ploy, $7.5 billion ploy for this huge ass company, and that was their freaking Hail Mary attempt to stay relevant in terms of developing games exclusively for this platform. And it just seems like, what the hell was the point of this studio? And Google is it's not like Microsoft is that much bigger than fucking Google. Their market, they're 1.5 trillion dollar companies. They're on the same level. It's not like, Google doesn't have the funds to maybe acquire another company or maybe, create more studios, or maybe just like fund their studios or get exclusivities with other developers. It's crazy, man. It just seems what kind of strategy is this? It's like
I don't think it is one.
Yeah, it's like it was all relied on acquiring, the big fish and nothing else. And it's fuck, man. They're dead, man. I don't care what anybody says. Stadia is gone. They're not going to survive.
They're done.
Just put it up in that Google graveyard with everything else in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finish him, Brian, get in here, man. What are your thoughts?
It's kind of funny, really, because back when Microsoft were saying that Sony's not really their competition, it's more Amazon and Google, and quite a few people laughed at that, and then now we're seeing that, hey, Sony is actually competing by the sounds of it. What's up? Sorry, Microsoft is actually competing by the sounds of it. Like, if they're able to make moves to the point where they're causing Stadia to hurt badly, then that is quite fascinating. But then at the same time, I don't think that Stadia should have cancelled any of the studios, because you can't just say, okay, we'll give you 2 years, see what happens. Oh, there's nothing, and we're hurting, so we'll close it down. Like, no, you have to actually give them a chance to get something out there first, like get their feet wet, and then go for it. And Stadia itself, again, the concept of Stadia sounded really, really cool. I mean, you can just play your games wherever you are. You can watch a guy streaming a game and then instantly jump into that game. It's a cool idea, but just the execution was just really, really bad. And given that it's Google, it's even more surprising because it's Google. You'd expect them to make some sort of dent, but they did nothing, which is very surprising.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, you got any thoughts?
I mean, you guys pretty much said all of it right there. I mean, it's like they just threw up their hands as soon as it happened. They're like, "Oh, well, we're done." Then why even get Jade Raymond and why get all these other people to be involved when there was nothing that was going to be happening from this? I said this from the beginning. Why the fuck did they even release this stupid thing without any sort of first party support? Fucking Phil Harrison should have known that shit. He's worked for the industry as long as he had. They literally needed to have something something in development to sit there on the top. Why do you need to buy? Why do you need to be involved with Stadia? Really? Man. Why did when you can literally play the same list of games on another platform for cheaper because you're not paying for a service and also with the game.
Yeah, it's crazy. The Stadia, man. But yeah, I think because right now it's still I call it the shambling zombie of it is still around. You still play third party games, but I think within a year that's just done, man. It's over.
Yeah. They don't have anything that separates them from the competition. Your chief, again, you said it before. Their chief competition is Microsoft, and they have both first party. They also have a shitload of legacy. Mm-hmm. So they are the winner in this whole situation.
Yeah, they really are.
And the only thing is that they still do need those cornerstone of things, but one thing about them, at least for newcomers to the sorts of that platform, if that's what a person is just going for the xCloud, right? If they're just going for that thing, they have all of that stuff that's there waiting for them. Whereas pretty much Google has absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, you're right. Project xCloud has the best library just from the jump, Yeah. It's available on PC now, by the way, xCloud. So check it out.
Yeah. So yeah, Again, they don't call it the best deal in gaming for nothing, man.
Yeah, and then once those Bethesda games come in, it's going to be really good.
Exactly.
Right now, it's still but even now, even with some of those games, people may not like all that. It's still better than whatever Stadia has. Straight up.
Yo, man, they're getting Fall Guys.
You're getting Fall. Yeah, Xbox is getting Fall Guys. There you go, man. A game that fell off the map real quick. That's one of those. I call those one of those streamer games. Streamers just made that shit really big, and now no one cares.
I mean, it's still pretty popular. It's not. I mean, it definitely fell off, but it's kind of like an Apex Legends situation where the hype was incredibly high at the start. It just died down, but it's still got a significant fan base, and it's
our boy Alex Nuss is still playing that shit all the time.
I played almost every weekend. I play with. Yeah, I mean, sometimes a couple of friends tell me, it's like, hey, let's get on Fall Guys so we can talk, shoot the shit, and play Fall Guys, and we do that, and there's a lot of people playing.
Yo, man, you got a secret life or something?
Yeah.
Yo, man, you don't want to play no Demon Souls with Chris, but you playing Fall Guys, son?
Uh-oh.
Yo, man, Chris has he's battling ice zombies right now, man. I can't take his attention.
White Walkers.
Yeah, so it's like it was on PC and PS4/PS5. Now it's going to be on Switch and Xbox. So
Game Pass, should do? You know what they should do? They need to make crossplay with that shit. Have it crossplay.
They should
across all systems. That'd be good.
Mm-hmm. They should do that.
CK, what's going on, man? Yeah, I played. The first time I played with Carlos was the last time I played. I no desire to play that shit ever again. Definitely not a Tony.
I mean, it's the Rocket League syndrome. That's what Fall Guys got, right? Entertaining, sort of multiplayer game where you can, a bunch of people trying to do something, and they're kind of goofy, dopey looking characters. Yeah, I could see why some people would be attracted to it. And, there's no cost to entry, at least the way they originally put it out. And I think that's what really did it for it, just like Rocket League.
Yeah. All right, there you go.